Jesse, come on, eat up. We need that brain of yours.
Aren't we forgetting one thing?
What's that?
That skull in the computer room. Jesse, what's wrong?
Jesse!
What's up, Rotters? Welcome back to the podcast that takes a deep dive into the best, worst horror films of the 80s and 90s. I'm Stevie, your VHS veteran. I hope you're all doing horrendously. This is the penultimate episode of Season 1. What a blast. I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you who have been on this ride with me, and of course to all my incredible guests. Next week, I'll be rounding off the season by covering the unparalleled Death Spa with the equally unparalleled Graham Norton, so you don't want to miss that. Also, next month, June, is Pride Month, and we've done something a little special. We have some limited edition Brainbow, get it? Brainbow Pride t-shirts, tank tops, and stickers available in the Brainrot store, and 25% of all the proceeds will be donated to Stonewall, supporting lesbian, gay, bi, and trans people across the globe, an organisation that is close to my heart. It's a really awesome design we've got of the Brainrot title with rainbow blood dripping down from it. It's so on brand. To grab one of those and contribute to the donation, just go to steviesbrainrot.com. Now then, this week we're covering Full Moon's David DeCoteau directed Creepozoids, starring Scream Queen Linnea Quigley. As naff as it is a hell of a lot of fun, and you can tell that DeCoteau had fun making it. He even took the position of wardrobe supervisor on the film under the pseudonym Wilma Rubble. It's corny and horny, but never boring. Sorry. Joining me to discuss this bee-banger is someone whose name I type into YouTube whenever I'm feeling down. She's honestly one of the funniest and warmest people I've ever had the pleasure of chatting to. And I made her watch fucking Creepozoids. Please welcome Urzila Carlson. Hello.
Hello, how are you? I love your decor. The
thank you
decor
very
that you've got
much.
in the back of yours.
Yeah, that's it. That's my feature wall. It's actually it's, for those who can't see, it's a geometric wallpaper that goes across 3 walls, and it was a fucking nightmare trying to line up the actual lines in the corners because it was in strips. It wasn't one big piece. But yeah, I'm all right. Can't complain. Well, that's bullshit. I say I could complain. I just can't be
Yeah.
bothered anymore, to be honest.
Yeah. To be
How are
fair,
you?
I'm glad you're not complaining, because I couldn't be bothered listening to all the complaining anymore. I'm good. I'm on tour. Just everywhere I go, I'm 100% sure the whole world is suffering from PTSD after this.
Uh-huh.
I say after the pandemic, like it's finished. But, after all the lockdowns it's just insane. And people
Yeah.
are just, so I'm so sick and tired of people's bullshit. I'm going to do my own research about this vaccine. I'm like, okay, so what's that, 25 years? Because you'll have to go to university, get a science degree, then get your
Right.
master's, then try and get into a lab. And you're not immediately going to start working on vaccines, you fucking moron. You're going to start working on why mouse shit is that shape, and then you're going to eventually work up your way to a vaccine. You're not going to immediately start.
Put you straight on vaccines by
Yeah.
request. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say you're on tour. I should say good morning. It's like 9:30 a.m. where you are, which I find so impressive because I have like a no full-blown conversation before noon rule.
Oh, really?
It's amazing. Like, well, I mean, niceties are fine, but nothing that like warrants eye contact or any response. So it's 12:30 like at night here, so that's perfect time for me.
I think because I've got the kids, so I'm so used to getting up early now that even when I'm on tour and they're not here, I still wake up 6:30, 7 o'clock. And it
Right.
shits me to death. Like, I wish I didn't, but I do.
What did you just say?
It shits me to death.
What do you mean? What are you
I've
talking
had
about?
I've had this exact conversation with Russell Howard. Shit you to death is not what you bombs think it is. It's when something irritates you so much, it absolutely shits you to death.
It's it shits me. So in a
Yeah.
sentence, I would say, "Oh my god, it really shit me to death."
Yeah, it shits me to death.
Shits me
so,
to death.
So, yeah, if someone cuts the line, whatever, you go, oh, it shits me to death when these people cut the line. Not actual shitting on you till you're dead.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna integrate that.
I
over
would
here.
pace myself if I was you. There's a lot of that reaction. Like, what did you say?
Yeah, right. That's amazing. No, I love that. I was oh god, I was watching your TED talk, your
Yeah.
Auckland TED talk, and fucking hell, not only is it funny as fuck, but I found it so like galvanizing and empowering. In just 14 minutes, you managed to do that. It's so cool. But the story you told about when and why you moved from South Africa to New Zealand was both terrifying and completely joyous. Like it made me start considering what types of extreme spontaneity I could do. Just for those who haven't had the pleasure, could you just sort of tell us that little bit of story?
Yeah, I because I lived in South Africa. I used to work for the newspaper, and I always used to think there was no like I was lucky because I wasn't really face to face with a crime, but I had a home invasion and I had a smash and grab where they smash your car window and grab everything out of your car. And we had an armed robbery at work where these guys came in, 4 guys with AK-47s, and held us up and took all our car keys and
Fucking hell.
our wallets, phones, the whole lot, and then stripped us down to our underwear and locked us in the bathroom at work. So we couldn't chase after them. And in that moment, I knew it was time to go, and that I couldn't live in that country anymore. They had seen too much, and
You didn't say that in the TED talk.
no, but you know when it's like when you shit yourself at work, you're like, oh, I'm immigrating anyway. So, but then I decided I thought I'm gonna go. I can't raise kids here. I want my kids to be safe, and I want to feel safe. And then I thought I'm going to immigrate, and then I saw an ad in the newspaper the next day, and it said, "Do you want to immigrate? Why not New Zealand?" And I thought, yeah, why not? I couldn't think of a single reason why not. So then 3 months after I saw that ad in the paper, I was on my way to New Zealand. I had no plans. I didn't know anyone in New Zealand. I'd never been. But I just thought, that's sort of what a great opportunity. We're just going to give it a go. And then packed up and left. And that was in 2006, and I've never looked back a day. Wow. I go back to South Africa all the time, because I love it there, but I don't want to raise my kids there.
No. And I've been to New Zealand, actually. It's one of the most incredible places I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
It took me like a fucking week to try and get my head straight because I'm not good with that whole time difference. And I would start having meltdowns. Like I'd be having dinner and my body would be like, no, this is when we sleep. And I'd start crumbling and nearly fall onto my plate. So that's such a great story. And I love how you end it by, just kind of saying, as long as you suck in air, you have the opportunity, opportunity at your door.
And I still believe that because when I moved over to New Zealand, I was working in advertising still. And, then the opportunity came up to do comedy and I took it and I started doing comedy. And I just had this conversation this week with a woman again, where she goes, oh, I wish I could just, she wanted to move towns. And I go, do it. She goes, because her best friend of all, her whole life have just moved town and now she's just stuck alone in this town. And she's sort of on semi-retirement / working from home. And so there's no reason for her not to go. There's nothing holding her. I go, so do it. And she's like, yeah, I've always lived here. I go, that means nothing. Like,
that's not binding.
Yeah. If like I always say, like the Christchurch earthquakes, they basically wiped out the whole town. And you don't even realize how we are so attached to buildings as part of our memories.
Yeah.
Like if you drive through a town, you go, oh my God, I had coffee there with this, or I had this, and when all of that's wiped, you realize how that isn't important. The people are important. So, and I said to her, I go, you're not dead. You're semi-retired. Like just pack your shit and go. Like nothing holds you back. Nothing.
Yeah, it's just taking that first step, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like to think that I'm a spontaneous person. I definitely do spontaneous things, but then I have, these fantastical ideas of stuff I want to do, but I don't ever do it. But actually, this podcast was one of them. I've literally been wanting to do this for 5-6 years, putting it together. I even a couple of times even did test episodes, then just couldn't be asked, or something stopped me. Even it wasn't like the beginning of the pandemic. Shit, I need to do something. I sat around
Yeah.
for 8 months until eventually I did, and it's just one of those things that I'm so glad I did now.
Yeah.
It's taking off, but it's just for me. I
Yeah.
enjoy it, and I love putting other people through
The trauma.
terrible things. Yeah, the trauma. And so,
Yeah.
going from real life horrors to something a bit more absurd. What's your relationship with horror films, if you have one at all?
I don't have it at all. I avoid it at all costs. If like I'll still touch on a thriller now and again, but I'm 100% a romantic comedy type of gal. Like if I'm gonna watch a movie, I just want to sit and switch off and chill.
Yeah,
I don't want to watch anything. But no, I can't say that I'm really like horror is my thing. But
yeah.
yeah, what you gave me was, I don't know if we can classify it as that.
Well, no, quite. It's it's a very specific type of horror, which we might as well talk about. Before we talk about it, can I have a little sort of how would you summarize the film?
Okay, the film I think was, that guy in school that we all had this guy in school, and he made a movie with 4 or 5 of his best mates, and the one's girlfriend that he didn't really want in the film, but he insisted. So then he made a film, but the only sort of movies he'd ever watched is porn. So that's kind of the timeline. The acting and the storyline is sort of as strong as you would get in porn. The whole storyline, you feel like this is as bad as a bad porno storyline, but it never gets to the actual fucking. Like there's no payoff. You're just watching this terrible porn
The
acting.
foreplay.
Yeah, it's really badly shot. And you're like, but he did his best. He did his absolute best, and that will always be his talking point, sort of in any conversation. So,
Yeah.
but it was pretty funny bad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I feel slightly seen by that because I was the guy that made sort of films in school with my camcorder. But it's amazing that you said what you said, because David DeCoteau, who directed this, before this, under a pseudonym, he directed porn.
It shows. It 100% shows. I was like, I feel
Gay
ya.
porn.
I feel you, bro. Yeah.
He's a gay porn director.
Well,
So I love that you
definitely
picked up on that.
vibe. I mean, I've done my research because I've spent 14 weeks in quarantine, so I have finished porn. So I sort of get a vibe.
I finished porn. I finished you porn.
Yeah. I got to the end of it, and it ends. It doesn't end well.
But that's an amazing spot to pick up on that. So yeah, let's sort of talk through it. And I've got some fun facts along the way. So I mean, it opens in this science lab, and we've got this pretty sort of scientist. And straight away, the fact about this is this actress name. Her name is Joy Wilson, and she was cast because the director liked her house. Now that needs more explanation, but apparently he was maybe at a party or something at hers once, and he loved her house. And he was like, this would be a really great location for a different movie they had in mind. And so he gave her the part in this, hoping she'd stay in contact, and never spoke to her again.
Oh my God. Well, she was terrible at it, because just to set the scene, for those of you, don't watch it.
No,
But
we did that for you.
But so she can hear a noise, and I mean, it's like if you hear a noise at home, you're like, oh, what's that?
Right.
And you're alert. But not this bitch. She's alone in a room and go, who is there? And just carries on. Like
She carries on doing what she was doing.
For about 5 minutes, she never opens the door. She doesn't even attempt to look out of her. What is that noise? And then just doesn't skip a beat. I was like, I've never seen a woman less afraid in my life.
Right. And there's a really ominous sound behind the door, and she's like, who's there? And then just pouring liquid and sciencey stuff.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So good. But she does.
I watched it and I was like, I wonder how many takes that took.
It is shocking. But she does eventually open the door, and we've got the Creepozoid. I'm guessing this is the Creepozoid, but we do find out there are other creatures. So I don't know if Creepozoid is like the umbrella term for all these creatures.
Yeah, it
Um,
must be.
yeah, and he gets it. Then we get a written prologue, and it's letting us know that we're in 1998, so the future.
Yeah.
And 6 years after a nuclear war, and Earth's now burned, and it's a wasteland.
A husk.
Yes, a husk. I think it uses that word.
Yeah, that's
It does, yeah.
husk.
It really paints a picture, that word.
Yeah.
It's almost onomatopoeic.
Yeah.
But we meet our protagonist, and it's these 5 army deserters who are like roaming the streets of this desolate LA. And all this bit, they didn't have a permit apparently, so it's all like guerrilla style filmmaking. They all thought they were pretty cool doing that. They drop in a line about, oh, we better find shelter before the acid rain starts. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, where have you come from, and why didn't you stay there? And so they're just going from place to place, I guess, sort of looting.
Yeah, no, because the thing that I found, and maybe it's because I'm a fixer. Like if there's a problem, I think we can solve this. We should come up with a solution. I was just fascinated that these 5 army AWOLers couldn't come up with like a stainless steel umbrella to keep the acid rain. Or even if you had a car bonnet, if you could find an old Datsun, you would have been fine.
Yeah, just something, even if it eventually comes through, but it will give you cover for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, then you find another bonnet, and then
Yes.
you rinse and repeat.
No, but they've got like cut off shirts, fully unprotected. It's so
Oh.
right.
Oh, a woman with a singlet with no bra, at some point that singlet's just going to be like a G-string through your titties, and your titties are going to hang out. That is
Yeah,
not
you're
a
going to
good
see
call.
them.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, but they find this sort of office warehouse. My favorite thing about this location is pretty much anytime anyone's heavy-footed or puts anything down on a table with purpose, everything moves. The whole thing's waving all over the fucking place. It's perfect. And the one boy, Jesse, who's our quote-unquote nerd, the computer literate one, he finds a computer and he just starts tapping away. And I think that's where we get our first bit of gore. There's like a severed head on the floor. And his scream, bless him, there's nothing like an awkward actor scream. He goes, ah... And it's like he just got a joke that someone told him earlier. It's one of those.
So I also just want to say we don't learn any of the characters' names till they actually die.
Right.
Like we didn't know what Jesse's name was till he died, and they go Jesse. I was like, oh, okay, that's his name, but you don't actually know any of their names. Like I only found out the woman's names in the credits afterwards. I'm like, okay, that's their names.
Yeah,
There's no character. You don't know what any of their backgrounds, their names. Then you realize how important it is to build characters in movies and television, and getting to know the characters. We have no idea what any of these people do.
Yeah, you just see them, and they're just your sort of stereotypical. You've got the muscle stud, you've got the blonde bimbo, you've got the prude, and you've got the nerd.
Yeah.
And it's basically that.
And the alpha male.
Yeah, the proper alpha. Yeah, Butch, and his name is Butch.
Yeah.
Of course. And the blonde girl, Blanca. Yeah, she decides to go for a shower, and he's standing guard. And she says, no, you're going to come and soap my backside.
Yeah, but she said it like you would in a porno. No, you're going to come and soak my back. It's like, why did you pause that long?
And the full porno music kicks in, and they have their little rubbing each other in the shower naked.
Yeah.
What do you think of these performers?
Well, you could tell they tried really hard.
Yeah.
But also, how sometimes you watch a shitty movie, like a terrible, terrible movie, and then you go, oh my God, that's so-and-so that's famous now, or that's Brad Pitt, or we've never seen these people again, have we? Because I've never
Well, I could tell you what the two girls, I've got a really fun story actually. Yeah. So the blonde one, Blanca, is played by a lady called Linnea Quigley, and she was a huge scream queen. She's in so many horror films in the 80s. I think she actually produced this film, or associate produced. But that's not the story. So she was originally they were meant to play each other's parts originally. Right. That's how it was cast. But the dark-haired actress wasn't happy with the nudity. And she really didn't feel it was right. And so they switched. But then she went on to become a hardcore porn star.
Oh, I might look up her work then.
But that's one way to cure your fear, isn't it? I mean, she really faced that, like wasn't down with the nudity, and then went, you know what? I'm going to face this, and I'm going to go the whole hog.
Yeah, amazing. But see, that's grabbing that opportunity, and now she's in a new industry.
Absolutely, good on her.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
yeah. We sort of this Jesse guy. We sort of find out that the facility was they were doing experiments, something to do with amino acids, so a chemical that makes your body create its own amino acids, so that you don't need food.
Yeah, I was actually impressed by the science behind it. I'm like, are these people doing DNA testing? Because they were like, get the protein of him. Let's do this. I'm like, oh my God, they actually like messing about 1987 with DNA testing. I'm like, maybe that's where it started. It's a shitty movie, but it was a breakthrough for science.
Well, absolutely, and and forensics, incredible. This could have been,
Yes,
this could have lit the match.
that was the first SVU.
This is it. SVU apocalypse.
Yeah.
He hears a noise though in the vent, and he decides to pop himself right in there and go for a nosy, as you do. And he's using a torch that in this take he forgot to turn on. I noticed he's still using it as a torch. It's just not on. And it leads to a cave. But then the torch comes back on. Now the cave. So this whole film is the same room.
Yeah.
So it's the corner of a soundstage that they've dressed differently. So it's the same room is the shower, the canteen, the cave, the lab, everything, which I think is really fucking resourceful for this low budget thing. They just kept repainting the walls every time. So they did all of the canteen shots, all of the bedroom shots, all the shower shots. And the reason it's smoky in every scene is so that you can't see all the details, basically. I find this next bit a little bit confusing. So he's in the cave and the monster attacks him, right? Yeah. And then he's just back in bed and he seems fine. And he's at breakfast with everyone and he starts mutating. And it's a really cool mutation. And there's black ooze out of his mouth and he's got these yellow eyes. But that's fine. But why didn't he tell anyone about being attacked?
Yeah, because everyone after that could talk about it, but he didn't. He just sat at breakfast freaking out, big eyes, eating the chow that I still don't know, because there was a fruit bowl on the table. That's the thing that got me more about there was a bowl of fresh fruit on the table. I'm like, hang on, we're in the middle of this weird apocalyptic thing. Where's the fresh fruit from? And they were eating.
It's been 6 years actually, hasn't it? So where's that been imported from?
They had there was one backpack amongst a lot of them, which they left outside and the acid rain got. But now they're inside having chow and there's fresh fruit. And no wonder the poor guy exploded. Yeah, it was bizarre that he didn't talk about it. But then I was like, maybe he thought he was having a bad dream. You know, I think that's how they were trying to play it. Because when he got up, when the guy woke him up, he's like, that really confused.
Yes, yeah.
So I think maybe that's what he was thinking.
Yeah, I just want to know the journey back to bed, though. So what happened with him and the monster? And then he crawled back through the vent, went to bed. Anyway, I suppose that, yeah.
Maybe the giant rats took him.
Wait, we'll get to them. We will get to those, baby. Fucking hell. Yeah, let's just say it's that he thought it was a dream. I mean, to be honest, there's inconsistencies with each person and this monster when they get attacked and what happens to them. But Kate, she does some digging herself. Yeah, she finds out the amino acid stuff. Yeah, they find the vent in the computer room, which obviously he hadn't told them anything about. And they're absolutely just adamant that the answer to everything is down there. They literally have lines like, whatever it is, it's down there. I know it. Don't stop me. I'm going in.
Yeah, and fighting who's going to go in. If it was today, if that movie was shot today, they would fight about who's not going in there. But because it was in the 80s, they were fighting each other about who's going in there, who's putting their life on the line. Because that was the 80s, maybe.
Yeah, how times have changed. Totally.
Yeah.
But he's not even been in there. Jake goes in. He's not even been in there 40 seconds before Butch starts going, oh my God, he should have been back by now. What's happened? Oh my God, I'm going in. And it's like, you can see his feet. He's not.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. As soon as they go, he should have been back, or why haven't we heard from him? I'm like, because you can still see his feet. You can still touch him.
Right. There's I kind of can't remember it, and I feel like maybe I fucking dreamt this bit. Does she, Blanca, the blonde one, like go off and find a skeleton.
Yeah, hanging from the light, which structurally would not hold a corpse, a body.
No.
But there was just a woman hanging, and then she freaks out when she switches the light on, because then for some reason the skeleton hanging from the light starts swinging, and then she
On its
jumps
side.
down, and that's when the creepozoid
Yeah.
comes out and she sees it, but doesn't attack her. She just screams to high hell.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe she was going to the toilet. I don't remember why she's there. But so Butch gets down there and Jake's been attacked. And this is where Jake is like, this creature, it doesn't want to kill us. It wants something else.
Yeah,
And so
it's smart.
this gets lost though, because originally in the story, the creature was meant to be trying to mate with the girls constantly. And there were actually creature sex scenes. I mean, I say sex scenes, I doubt that it was consensual for the female characters, but they don't really go down that route. Yet you still got all these leftover lines like, there's something else it wants with us, which is a reference to the mating, but it doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, I found that fascinating too, when he kept saying it's very smart and it doesn't want to harm us. And I'm like, oh no, I think it only wants to kill. Like this
That's the thing.
Face off, yeah.
And in a very short amount of time, we find out it absolutely wants to kill. And also, the first thing you saw when he got here was a severed head.
Yeah, but also I think it's one of those scenarios like, if you've ever seen improv or but you sort of get half a story and then as you go, you start writing it. And I feel like this is what's happened here. He's gone, okay, I'm going to make a movie. I've got some characters and we've got a location. I've got a camera. I've got everything. And he's like, on the day of, okay, we've got catering, we've got the cameras, we've got the location, we've got the girls, we've got some. What are we? Oh shit, a storyline. And then he just starts making it up as he goes. Like you can just tell this shit was done on the fly.
Totally. Then we have, this is when we get the rat, because Butch goes to the generator because the lights have gone out and he gets attacked by a giant mutant radiated rat. I mean, it's fantastic. It's completely static and lifeless, this puppet. I always love it when an actor has to hold something that is attacking him onto him and just kind of shake and throw himself around in pain.
Yeah, but that's just sort of the hallmark of 80s horror, isn't it? That's what you had to do then. It's like you had to act for you and for this brick with fur on. Because it's not even a good copy. It's like if you had put like a little rat tail and some rat whiskers on your pit bull, that would look a lot more believable than this thing that they have. I was like,
more convincing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the standard's pretty low at this point. But, well, Jake saves the day with a laser blaster, which is a plot twist for me. I mean, where did that come from? I mean, apparently in 1988, we were meant to have laser blasters, but we were living our best lives dancing to Spice Up Your Life.
Yeah, rewinding tapes with a pencil. But what I found fascinating is he's got this laser thing that is shooting this. And to be clear, like because people won't watch this, but the Creepozoid looks like a pit bull wearing a bike helmet. It's just this completely pitch black thing with an enlarged head, but quite a muscly torso. So it's basically a pit bull with a bike helmet. And then he shoots at it with a laser, which the whole magic of a laser is hold it in and then you destroy, till the thing explodes. But no, he shoots it like it's a 9mm, pew, pew, pew. So just these short, sharp lasers hit the thing. I'm like, if you just hold it in. The beauty of this film was like, I was screaming at my laptop going, hold it in, you idiot! Like, just destroy it already. I don't know what kind of military training they had, but it wasn't great.
No. I know, whenever they even pick up a gun, their finger's already on the trigger. And I'm like, no, you have not been trained, that's for sure. And there's a lot, we haven't mentioned the several scenes just running in a corridor. Just happens.
But very elbow heavy.
Very elbow heavy.
You know how 4-year-olds run with their elbows out? This is how every actor in this runs very elbow heavy. You're like, you're going to break something. Pull your arms in.
Yeah, it's just it happens so much. You may think it looks like a storage unit, and that's because that's exactly what it is. They hired this storage unit for one day and obviously got they filmed every possible combination of them running down the corridor on their own, in pairs, all of them towards the camera, away from the camera, and then they just decided to put them all in as like buttons between scenes.
Yeah.
Just constant.
But this film would be a great example for people doing like a short film festival. And you're like, how can I make it real wacky? That's going to stand
Yeah.
out to the judges this way. Like exactly
Yes.
that. Like just film all the different sequences, and you can do all of it in 5.5 hours.
100%. And it'll grab your attention.
Unforgettable.
Unforgettable. But actually, talking about the Creepozoid, a couple of the characters mention how it looks like it used to be human, and I struggle with that. Like, in what capacity does it look previously human? Like, where the fuck did you grow up? I don't think
Yeah.
it looks previously human at all. It looks like a beetle that got into the Honey I Shrunk the Kids machine.
Yeah, it is not, and everything about it. It's just like you say, like a one of those super black beetles that you get in summer that keeps banging into the light, like but with a
Right.
bike helmet. Like it's a very enlarged head on that thing. Previously human, I don't think so.
No,
And
no, sir.
weirdly, like I also thought this, it spins a web. Because when they go down that tunnel and into the cave, there's all this weird webbing, and I was expecting a spider
Right.
or something that could web, but no, we've got this weird pitbull beetle with a helmet on. I was like, where's the web come from?
That's so true. Oh, and every now and then it sort of sprays black gunge
yeah.
as well. And I think
Yeah.
that's acid. I don't know, which is very much taken from Aliens. I think there's quite a few references in this film. Yeah, so there's loads more running up and down corridors. And then, Kate's been attacked in the bedroom by the rat as well. But
Yeah.
she turns full. This is the thing. This is where the discrepancies come in, because she turns into a full-on zombie, like full zombie makeup, and tries to kill Blanca. And they have a very non-zombie fight, like the zombie's trying to knee her in the stomach, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. I am. As soon as that happened, I was like, "Oh my god! It looks like one of the Kardashians post surgery." It was so weird. I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" I know she got bit, but
Right, but by a
this
radioactive rat.
this has not come up at all because the others were bit too. Like Butch got bit by the rat, didn't he, on the hand, and he didn't transform. She just got a slight nibble in the face, and all of a sudden she's this weird zombie bitch that wants to kill everyone. It was
Yeah.
very, very bizarre.
Yeah, that very inconsistent. But obviously they're just throwing everything at it and going, what other effects can you do? Oh, I do a good zombie. Really? All right, we'll have it.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
think this literally came down to what kind of makeup do we have left? We've got heaps of clay and some. Oh, okay. Let's see if we can do a zombie with what we've got in that box.
And I think it was all right. I think they managed it okay. Blanca goes off to the cave for some reason. I can't remember. Who gives a shit? And the Creepozoid kills her. And it does just want to kill him because it just kills her. And then, so this is it now. So it's the big showdown. And so Jake is being stalked by the Creepozoid in this sort of storeroom. And this goes on for fucking ever.
Yeah, it looked like where they put the oversized pickles and mayonnaise containers in your school lunchroom. That kind of like it's a cafeteria pantry. Yeah, and it just like there's literally one metal shelf that they keep circling. And it's like I wanted that thing to kill him. I was like, one of you has to go. Like you're too dumb. You're saying this thing's smart, but you're not smart, and it's not very smart. One of you has to go. It was bizarre. It's like he filmed everything and went, okay, we've got one actor left and 20 minutes to go.
Right. That's the thing.
Let's fill this time. Because it was a long time where he was just sitting on the ground looking away from it.
Yes.
I was like, what? You just went through intense trauma with this thing. You need to look back and see what's going on.
Really long time. Yeah, but because he conveniently finds a syringe kit with an unspecified liquid, but we hear audio dubbing of his voice going, "This should do the trick." And so we're like, "Oh, cool, all right. As long as you know what it is and it should work, that's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about us." And he stabs it with it, and a fucking baby.
Yeah, Chucky.
A baby crawls out of the creature's head. But I'm not talking about a baby creepozoid. It's an angry human baby with sharp teeth and red veins.
Yeah, I want to say at this point, whoever made that baby, I was wildly impressed by the detail on that baby. I was like, oh, actually, that one's pretty good. That
Yeah,
that could be in any, but that looked like a Chucky baby, with those sharp teeth that you get on those cats and stuff now. That looks like a happy cat, and when you push a button on the back of its head, it gets those sharp teeth out.
it goes
My
sharp.
daughter's
Yeah.
got one of those. It looks like one of those things. Like there's a lot of stuff in this movie that I go, everything's horseshit, but then every now and again you go, wow, this is
Yeah.
amazing. This is like
Yeah.
from the actual future.
That was based on there's a 70s film by director Larry Cohen called It's Alive, about a killer baby, and it's very similar. And the baby in this, I love we're just accepting and just talking about the baby now,
Yeah.
not even addressing the fact that why was it in its head? What
Yeah,
breed is
yeah,
it?
because it
Why has it
weirdly
got an
came,
umbilical cord?
it weirdly came out of the neck of it. It's like
Yes.
they couldn't crack the actual prawn bit of the head, so it just came out of the side of the neck.
Yes, right. It was too expensive to fuck up the
Yeah,
one
it's like,
model.
hey, we have to send back, we have to return this. It's a rental. So go through the side of the t-shirt.
And I could sew it back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but apparently the baby, it had like 50 wires because it is good animatronics. I mean,
Yeah.
I say good, but especially for them, for something with such low budget. But
Yeah.
then this bit, so we've had him and the Creepozoids circling for 20 minutes, and then this bit with the baby goes on for 12 minutes, where the baby jumps out, Jake throws it away, then the baby jumps out, he throws it away, and it just keeps going.
Yeah. Yeah, and he cannot defeat a baby.
Right.
That was all I could say. There's a grown man who cannot defeat a baby. It's like you literally just have to, chuck it in the corner. Like in that time frame, the baby should have just been hungry and cranky and start crying. But no, he couldn't just stomp it in the ground, or it was insane.
Oh man, yeah, but he saves the day by it's so dark. He chokes it with its own umbilical cord. As I'm saying it, you see, when I watched it, I just took it at sort of face value and just was like, oh
Yeah.
right, that's a decision they made there. And now that I'm repeating it and knowing people are listening to this who haven't seen it, it just sounds fucking insane. He chokes a baby with its own umbilical cord. Man, it's
I know.
dark.
I know. But I was just, and then he still doesn't fucking leave.
No.
He's still, like, if you go through any form of trauma, like even if
Yeah.
there's a wild argument in a car park, you're gonna leave immediately. You're like, I'm getting out of here till it's safe, till they're gone, then I'll come back maybe, or they can just have my car. But this guy stays. He never fucks off. It's like, dude, escape.
All of your friends are dead.
All of them. Go get the fruit in the kitchen and leave.
And take an umbrella.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. But then we get one final sort of moment where the baby gets back up, probably setting us up for Creepozoids 2, which there isn't one, but you'll be happy to know. But that's it. And the thing is, I find it absolutely joyous because you don't watch it for the story. You don't really watch it for the effects. You watch it just to see choices. And I enjoy watching choices that are made on a constrained budget.
I have to say, it was when like the first 5 minutes, I started this movie a few times, and the first 5 minutes is very tough to get through.
If you push through.
I felt like you owe me an apology kind of thing. But then I watched it, and it was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was still better than Eyes Wide Shut, which was painful to watch, and still very confusing. At least this didn't leave you confused. You knew who was the enemy and who was the goodie,
Right.
and at least you knew who to root for. Like,
That's
so
true.
it's not all bad.
No.
And it was a bonding experience between myself and my tour manager. She's all of 25, and she watched it and she goes, "This is great." And I was like, yep, that's where
Right.
we
Well,
are.
yeah, well, give her my details and I'll get her on next. Uh,
She'd
but
love it.
I can't thank you enough. I know you're so busy with the tour and stuff. And have you got a show tonight?
Yeah, I'm finishing up in Newcastle tonight and then going back on
Amazing.
Sunday morning.
Well,
Yeah.
I wish I could see it, but until we're able to, I've got you at Netflix and you're all over YouTube. But
Yeah.
listen, Ursula, thank you so much for doing this. I had an absolute blast with you.
Hi, and I'm sorry it took so long. It wasn't for the junk folder. We would have had this done and dusted 2 weeks ago.
Oh no, that's fine. I think I needed more time to let the film sink in anyway. So, but take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And scene. Thank you so much to the incredible Urzila Carlson. What a stellar guest and a great sport. As I said, next week is the final episode of season 1 of Brain Rot, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. During our hiatus, we will be putting out regular episodes exclusively on Patreon. There's already a nice little back catalogue building up over there, so if you want to get your fix, head to patreon.com/Stevie's Brain Rot. It's only £5 a month, and you get loads of benefits like discounts on merch, a shout out on the show, and exclusive polls. We even chuck in a free sticker, franchise retrospectives, all sorts. So get on it if that sounds good to you. Keep abreast of Brain Rot's news and announcements by following us on the socials, Twitter and Letterboxd, it's Stevie's Brain Rot. Instagram and Facebook, it's Brain Rot Pod. You can email us, and that is steviesbrainrot@gmail.com. And as I said earlier, if you want to get your hands on some awesome merch, including our Pride range, head to steviesbrainrot.com. Until next time, rotters, toodles!